Today we're reviewing the Sony 24-105 f4, a well-known and loved lens across the Sony community, and we're breaking this thing down. We're looking at photo, video, and everything in between to figure out if this lens might be good for you. Let's go! So here it is, the 24-105 f4, and this is a fantastic lens. It's got a great versatile focal length, and really, who's it for? Can you use it for landscapes? Absolutely. It's nice and wide at 24. Can you use it for portraits? Sure you can. F4 is decent bokeh, and you can get right in there, get some nice compression at 105. So really, it's for everybody. If you're just getting started or if you're an intermediate photographer, it's a great all-around lens. If you're traveling, I can't really recommend this lens enough for people that are just kind of getting into it, or maybe just an all-around shooter. But we're going to get into the build and the features and the unboxing of this lens here in a second. But overall, for the first impressions of this lens, it's fantastic. It's got a bit of heft to it. It's very well built. Let's check it out. So let's jump right into a quick unboxing and look at the build of this lens. But if you guys are new here and you like this video, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. All you'll find in the box is a little bit of paperwork and the lens itself, which does come with a lens hood and a nice fancy leather pouch. When you first pick up this lens, you'll notice right away that it has incredible build quality. It's a G series lens, but it's one of the better ones I find. Sony is known for its quality, but this thing is just outstanding. It feels very nice and solid, and has a bit of weight to it. Weighing 663 grams, or about 1.5 pounds, you know it's made of quality materials. It measures only 4.5 inches long, and 6.25 at full zoom extension. 7.5 if you're using the lens hood. The focus and zoom rings are a nice grippy plastic. The focus ring is very light, and the zoom ring I find to be a bit stiff. You'll also find a convenient programmable focus hold button, as well as an automatic manual focus switch, and an image stabilization on and off switch. You'll find a completely flat front element that takes 77mm filter threads, and this is where you'll find Sony's nano AR coating that helps to eliminate flare and ghosting. It also has a nice metal mount and, incredibly, a little rubber gasket, providing you some decent weather sealing. But still, this lens is just rated to be moisture and dust resistant. Overall, the build is very solid and it packs a ton of features. So in this case, I give it 4.5 stars. So touching on the value of this lens, it is very expensive, coming in at about 1,200 American dollars. It is made well, and as you'll see in a minute, performs pretty well. There's not much to compare it to other than a 24-70 or third-party variations, and that extra reach is very nice in a lot of cases. All in all, the value is decent for what it is. It's a very versatile lens, and I give it 4 stars. So now let's have a look at performance. Does it justify the price? First, let's jump into autofocus and see how that performs. I'm happy to say that both in photo and video, it works extraordinarily well, like any Sony native glass that you'd expect. It's very quick and snappy, and rarely hunts. This is with face tracking turned on my A7 III, and this is the dying light of the day, so it's not perfect lighting conditions. You can see here it does pretty well and keeps up no problem. This lens utilizes Sony's direct drive SSM motors. A precision optical design minimizes focus breathing and makes this a reliable and fast focusing system for both photos and videos. Here's a look at how the lens's image stabilization works. Here we're zoomed in to 105mm where it's going to be most noticeable. So as you can see, it works very well and the difference is quite dramatic. It's a great feature to have, especially when you're shooting in low light with lower shutter speeds, and that's partially what you're paying for in this lens. So how does it perform in a photography aspect? First, let's look at bokeh. Although not the world's best, the bokeh is creamy and pleasant, as you'd find in most G series lenses. And here's a few examples for you to be the judge. Having a quick look at sharpness, it is a zoom lens, so it's not going to be the sharpest lens in the world, but for what it is very sharp. At 24mm in f4, the center's razor sharp, as it is basically throughout the entire focal range, but get into the corners for a little bit of softness. Stop down to see that corner sharpness improve just a little. The sharpness is similar at 105, very sharp in the center, with a little bit of expected softness in the corners. Again, stop down to see that improve just a little bit. Again, being a zoom lens, I'd say the sharpness is completely acceptable, if not very good. Here's a few examples of what you can expect out of this lens. So there's some examples for you. It's just such a versatile lens. By no means is it perfect. Yeah, there's a little bit of softness in the corners, which is not a big deal. It's a zoom lens, it's to be expected. It does also suffer a little bit from some distortion and vignetting, but again, nothing you can't fix in post with just one click, so it's a non-issue. But now let's jump into video and see how it performs in that aspect. I'm filming on it right now, and you've got the wideness when you need it, and of course you can get some zoom when you need that as well, so it just makes it a great option for video as well. I can't really recommend this lens for gimbal work just because it does extend when you zoom, and that's not good for balance on gimbals of course, but just for all around here and there, run and gun shooting video, it's fantastic. So let's jump in and see a couple clips that I put together just to show you what this thing's capable of. So looking at performance as a whole, this lens is fantastic in most aspects. It's one of the best all-around lenses that there is, and sure, it's not the fastest being an f4, but it's going to be absolutely adequate for most beginner or intermediate shooters, or people just looking for a great all-in-one lens. And for those reasons, I give this thing 4.5 stars for performance. So wrapping up, I wanted to just go over a few things. This lens is definitely a solid performer in pretty much anything you're going to throw at it. And like always, here's my personal pros and cons for this lens. One thing that I didn't mention that I really like about this lens is its close focusing distance of only 15 inches, and that can let you really take some interesting shots. Rating this lens as a whole, I'd have to give it 4.5 stars. I also like to rate things on a scale from never think about again to consider to definitely buy. And one last time, if you're a newer shooter, an intermediate shooter, or just want a great all-in-one lens, definitely strongly consider this one. So there you go, there's everything you need to know about the legendary 24-105. I hope this video helped you out, guys. If it did, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Drop your questions and comments down below. And if you want to buy this lens, I will leave an affiliate link in the description for you that'll take you to where you need to go to buy it. And like always, make mistakes, be yourself, and get out there and take some more pictures. See you next time.